Another organization that has been around doing so much good for the community since 1914, the JVS Human Services. And joining us now on the Oakland County MegaCast is going to be Jason Charnas. He's the Director of Business and Careers. Just about 20 minutes left in the show, Jason. I would imagine you and your team are extremely busy right now.
Yeah, absolutely. They're due to this pandemic, forget about everything else that's been going on, unemployment, furloughs, layoffs. Our team is busy working with anybody and everybody looking for employment. It's really the core of what our team here does.
So with that, do you want to give us some background on your organization for those that maybe haven't heard of JVS?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're a Southfield-based nonprofit and established in 1941. Really, our goal is to help people to maximize their potential. And we do that through a variety of programs, a variety of services, and really engaging with three different types of individuals. Job seekers, which is a big part of what my department does, and we can talk about in a little bit. Seniors, as well as people with disabilities.
Unemployment is through the roof right now because of the pandemic. So it could be a hard enough time for regular people to get jobs. I know that you focus on those that are harder to place. What's it been like? Is it more of a struggle for you right now?
So our staff, fortunately for us, are really, really experienced in helping people find employment. And we do that through a variety of things. We can help people with resumes and cover letters, help them through networking, help them to connect to people we know that may help with informational interviews, getting people experiences. But finding employment today, if you found yourself unemployed in March or April or more recently due to COVID or any other factors, finding employment is different today than it was 5 or 10 years ago. And it's not just about mailing a resume to an employer and hoping you find employment, but there's so much more that our staff are really, really great at walking people through that process.
So do you want to give us some of those tips? And really for anyone out there, right?
Anyone and everyone. Great tips I can provide. Number one, a resume is one part of the tool. We get calls from people that have been applying for jobs, trying to find employment. Their resumes look good, but a resume, like I said, is just one part. A big part of finding employment is through networking, through your connections, through people's connections, not just sending a resume to an organization, to a business and hoping that you get an interview, but seeing a way that your connections through LinkedIn or any other people you know may be able to get you an in. It's really about making those connections. Statistically, over 80% of people are finding employment, not just through applying, but through networking. And so we really want to help people to focus on networking as a means to employment.
So, and Jason, with that, because you hear about people who will go through these job sites like Indeed or Monster, whatever else is out there, and they just keep sending the same resume. And sometimes when you don't get any response, I think I heard once, is because you have to match your resume to keywords that show up in that job posting. Is that still the case?
Absolutely, and it depends a little bit on the type of business you're applying for, but we call it the spray and pray method, right? You send out hundreds of resumes through LinkedIn, you don't change a thing, and you hope that you're going to get an interview, you hope it's going to lead to a job. And while that may lead to employment for some people, that's not the best or most efficient use of your time. So yes, you want to tailor your resume, tailor your cover letter specifically to the job you're applying for. It's not about quantity, it's about the quality that you're doing. Bigger organizations, bigger businesses that are using tracking systems to select the resume to interview, they're using and looking at keywords and making sure the keywords in their job description are included meaningfully in your resume. And so that's a really important piece, but a cover letter is important, but getting that resume to be looked at by the right person. And so if it means you're connected to somebody who used to work at that business or somebody who currently does, who can forward your resume to the hiring manager, to the HR professional, to that recruiter. That makes a big difference.
So is it appropriate for a person to maybe go on LinkedIn and find people that work for that company and you don't know them, but reach out to them directly or get their contact and send it to them even though you don't know them?
So you can try that. I don't think you'll have a lot of success. Your best bet at that point in LinkedIn is to look to see if you have somebody who is directly connected to that person. Ronnie, if I know somebody is applying to work at Civic Center TV and they call me up and say, Jason, do you know anybody who works at Civic Center TV? I may say, you know what, I did this great interview once with Ronnie, and let me talk with her. Let me put you in touch with her. She can tell you about the organization. She can give you information about the job. And then maybe she'll feel comfortable passing that resume on to the person who is doing the hiring. That's going to be much more effective than somebody you've never met sending a resume directly to you or reaching out and saying, help, I want to find a job at your organization.
So if you don't have an in, what should a person do?
You know what? There is still an opportunity by sending in a resume and a meaningful cover letter. And in that cover letter, it's not just to reiterate the information in your resume. What makes you stand out? Why are you so passionate about this? If you can share a little story in that cover letter that gets you noticed, that makes it, it's not just somebody who's reiterating that same information that those HR folks are reading over and over. That's going to be a great piece. Follow organizations, follow businesses on social media. What's important to them? What are they posting about? What are they thinking about? What are they doing right now? Those are great ways to really get to know a business. You can get to know what they're focusing on and include that in the resume. It doesn't hurt ever to reach out by phone or by email directly to the HR person if you can figure out who they are. But again, connecting with people and networking with people is going to be the best shot that most people have at finding that type of employment.
This is always such a great conversation because we have so many people right now finding themselves in this boat. But what about if you just need to pay the bills? Is it okay to be underemployed?
You know what? Underemployed, if for people that need income, need to pay bills, need to keep the lights on, need to keep the heat on, absolutely. And we have programs for people that are underemployed or that are facing long-term employment. And so statistically, long-term employment is looked at 6 months or more. So a lot of people right now are facing long-term unemployment. We have a great internship program at JVS that's called our new Experiences Internship. It's an internship for people that have been facing long-term unemployment or underemployment. Typically, they're people that have been unemployed for a year or more. And what it does is it allows us to hire interns to work at other businesses, other organizations. It's a 10-week internship, 40 hours a week, where they can receive a salary of $13 an hour. And what that does for them is it provides an opportunity for individuals to have recent, meaningful work experience. When you start applying for jobs, no matter how long you've been unemployed, the longer that length of unemployment, the more difficult it is. Employers pause. Is there a reason you're unemployed that long? Why have you been unemployed that long? And people's confidence in themselves decreases with the length of unemployment. Do I still know how to work? Can I still do this? Do I have those relevant skills? So what this internship allows us to do is provide people with hope, with recent experience that then helps them to put that on a job application, allows them to put recent experience on a resume so that when they go for that next opportunity, they know they can do it. They know they've done it. They have a positive reference that is relevant and recent and get somebody that next step to what we hope will be long-term employment and long-term opportunities.
That's all such great advice. So, so many people right now, you're not doing and going to the, typical recruiting events. They may be doing things via Zoom, some of these companies, or interviews via Zoom, but it's not the same. Any advice in that arena?
Zoom, whatever the virtual interview is, can be really challenging. It's hard to talk with people in this two-dimensional world. It's hard to see body language on both sides. So you've got to really try hard. It's important to do your research. People think I can write all of the answers down to every possible interview question and I can post them all over my screen. But that doesn't help, because then it looks like you're reading an answer to a question. But the preparation is still important. You want to test the technology in advance. You want to know who you're going to be interviewing with. A follow-up thank you note still is important. Does that have to be a handwritten note card? It's great if that's what you want to do, but a follow-up email within 24 hours of your interview to anybody and everybody you've been interviewed by says a lot. And mailing a card today is difficult because I could mail a card to your office, but you may not be working from there or ever collecting it. And it'll sit in that mailbox for weeks or months till you're back to the office. So today I would actually recommend a follow-up email thanking people for their time. If there's anything you wish you had said or you want to clarify something, what a great opportunity, but follow up always. Lighting matters, right? Angle of your camera matters. Nobody looks good with the camera looking straight up their nose, right? Looking straight on. Body language, you want to show your body, you want to be able to express yourself, and then answer the question. Answer the question the best that you can. Provide examples of whatever that is. And a virtual interview is not easy. An interview can be really stressful, can be anxiety inducing for many people. And we have resources at JVS. We have staff that can do a mock interview with you. In January, we have a mock interview scheduled on a virtual way where people can log into Zoom and we can pair them up with one of our staff to practice their interview skills. But if you've got an interview before then, we'll do it one-on-one. We have webinars set up for people to provide great information on how to prepare for an interview, how to prepare for a virtual interview, how to write your resume, and so much other really relevant and valuable information.
What happens if you have a bad internet connection? Because it happens to all of us.
The if is not even it. We've all had bad interview connections. I've been in a meeting and my internet has gone out. I think what you want to do if you're preparing for a virtual interview, whether or not you're going to have or you've ever had bad internet, things happen. And if you can have your cell phone ready to go, and have a conversation with whoever you're interviewing in the event that my internet goes out, in the event that I have a problem. Is there a phone number I can call, or can somebody call me at my cell phone? If it goes out, let me get my cell phone ready to go for a less ideal but still virtual video interview with Zoom on my cell phone, on my smartphone. So to have that software downloaded, installed, ready to go, just in case. And what that also does is it shows the employer that you're thinking ahead. You're going to be prepared for any kind of a situation that may come up, regardless of whether it has. And that shows preparation. That shows that you're really being thoughtful about not just the interview, but the type of employee that you will hopefully be when they hire you.
Jason Charnas with us here on the Oakland County MegaCast. He's the Director of Business and Careers for JVS Human Services. So much good advice that you're giving us right now. But I also wonder, how has the job market changed during the pandemic? Because we are seeing a lot about jobs that are now remote that maybe would not have been before. So should people look outside of their metro area and where they live?
So there are jobs that are remote, and we get people calling us looking for employment, but really specific. Right now, they're only interested in a remote job. For some industries, for some people looking for employment, remote is a possibility. Even if it's a possibility short term, there are businesses that are reevaluating what employment will look like and whether it can be 100% virtual. Right now, my entire team is working in a virtual way. I am so looking forward to having the entire team back in my office and being able to meet the brainstorming, the connections, the quick conversation that leads to a great program idea for what I've seen still in person is significant. But virtual jobs exist, but it's not a virtual job for everybody. Some people don't have the experience or the confidence or the comfort on a computer. Some people, the type of a job they're looking for simply won't be remote. For people that want a boost in computer skills, we have computer trainings. We have a virtual Microsoft Office training program that we're starting, and we've been running for a long time, but for the first time, it's going to be happening virtually beginning in January. Comfort in Microsoft Office, whether it helps you to get that next opportunity or to find a job in employment, knowing you have the skills and the comfort to do it can be really valuable.
That is one thing that I think is so important right now is upping your computer skills, because it has become so vital during the middle of this pandemic.
It really is. And so in addition to this this virtual computer training that we have available, and we have scholarships available for people that would need financial assistance on that, we've also been providing a webinar through the JVS Detroit Facebook page. One of those webinars is called the Modern Toolkit. We recognize technology is important for employment. It's important for the next opportunity, for the next better opportunity, or to simply find an opportunity. And so we've been providing a variety of technology-based trainings, short 20, 30 minutes, where people can get an understanding of the language of that program, understanding of how and why you would use that application so that you can take that and parlay that into that opportunity. Just one of those webinars that we've really shifted how we've prepared and provided that information, because we can't sit everybody in our computer training classroom and provide it face to face like we used to.
Jason, just about another minute or so with you here on the Oakland County MegaCast. So are your services open to everyone or just specific groups?
Our programs and services are open to everyone. So if somebody is looking for employment or knows somebody that is, they can give us a call, 248-233-4245. They can go to the JVS Detroit Facebook page. They can go to our website, jvshumanservices.org. And if they're looking for help with a resume, cover letter, networking, we can work with them one-on-one. We have a program called Career Counseling, which is a really fantastic program for people looking to make a change in careers, a shift, but have no idea how to make that decision or what they might be interested in or good at. And over on average an 8 to 10 week process, we utilize a variety of assessments, looking at skills, interests, motivators, work styles. Our staff help to interpret the results of those assessments to give somebody a career path. We've seen a lot of people saying, this pandemic has thrown a curveball. And so what an opportunity I have now to pause and think about, what do I want to do where I can go to work and be excited, happy, motivated? And so we've seen a real uptick in the career counseling requests, but career counseling isn't for everybody. People that know what they want to do, we can help them also. But if you're unsure or people are unsure, they can always call us directly and we can talk through which program would be best for them.
Well, it's a service so many people need right now. We want to thank you for your time with being with us here on the Oakland County MegaCast.